Alhamdulillah, khabar baik.
Puasa tak ni? Ngantuk lagi ni? Ke belum mandi pun ada?
Puasa.
Puasa Alhamdulillah. Saya cuba hari ni untuk kita 1 jam je sebab saya ada mesyuarat lain, mesyuarat nak batch soalan final exam. So, kalau saya tak pergi kan tak ada orang pula nak tengok saya punya soalan soalan you all lah juga. Alright, so today we will continue personal taxation. If you go to my guru under learning materials, saya upload a few materials, new materials, which is the question yang kita akan tengok today, and also ada tax summary juga that I will share with you later. Right, so for today, first of all, we will continue. If you remember last week, I asked you to submit a tutorial question on Mr. Mahen. Okay, and then this is the continuation of the question. So you can refer to Mr. Mahen question, but this one is actually only on personal relief. So last week we have gone through semua ni dah kan? The personal relief, the summary of personal relief. And then this is the life insurance premium. Rebates dah belum? Belum Rasa macam belum. Alright, we'll come back to Mr. Mahen later. So for today, we will continue rebate. If you go back to our personal taxation, this is the format of our chargeable income kalau kita nak kira. So we have total income, alright, and then less relief. So we have done relief last week dah 2 minggu kita tengok tajuk ni. So relief, and then that will give us a chargeable income. And then once we have the figure of the chargeable income, kita akan tengok the scale rates lah for the tax payable. Once we have the tax payable amount, then we have to minus the rebates kalau ada that will give us a net tax payable. So again, if the relief equals to total income, nampak tak sini dengan sini sama, there will be no chargeable income. Alright, so no chargeable income means there will be no tax payable. Alright, and sometimes the relief can be more than the income. Let's say income is 80,000, relief is 85,000. Still again, no chargeable income, but the relief ni cannot be carried forward and no refund will be given. Alright. So for today, last week kita dah tengok relief so today kita akan tengok rebates, and then I will go through with you maybe 2 questions kita nak tengok the full tax computation for an individual, but without the business income lagi. Business income kita akan buat next week. So once we have done business income, kita boleh come back to a few questions yang saya dah assign sebelum ni lah. Kita ada Mr. Sim, kita ada Mr. Mahen. Even for today, I have prepared one question for you, Mr. Vincent, Vincent Chin tu. So dia ada business income juga. But for today, kita tak tengok lagi lah business income. Alright. So these are the types of personal relief that we look at last week. And then these are the summary. So saya simpan sekejap Mr. Mahen ni, kita tengok later. Alright, so the next one, if you look at the computation tadi, the next one would be rebates. Means after we calculate the amount of tax payable, alright, kita boleh kira rebates. So rebates ni will reduce the income tax charge nanti and it is deducted before any set off against section 1110 and any credit under section 132. There are 2 types of rebates under section 6A, 2 and A3 for self and wife, and also for zakat, fitrah and other Islamic religious due. Ini dia rebate lain tak ada. So in this table, this is the summary of tax rebate. For example, for self, if the resident individual, the chargeable income does not exceed 35,000, means that when we compute the total income, kita dah tolak relief, dia dapat chargeable income. The chargeable income is less than 35,000. So kita boleh reduce lagi the income tax paid dia by RM400. Sama jugalah kalau ada wife, rebate for wife, sama jugalah. If the chargeable income is less than 35,000, can still deduct 400 for rebate. And also zakat and fitrah. Zakat and fitrah dia tak ada limit. It is actually the amount that you paid, but amount paid untuk rebate ni restricted to tax payable. For example, the tax paid is 8,000, so zakat and fitrah that can be deducted as rebate is only up to 8,000 later I will show you the summary of tax charge ni Alright, what we have done so far is actually on the separate assessment, okay, which means we assess individually whether it is a husband or a wife as long as they have their own income, okay. So in this case, a wife is assessed separately on her income from all sources. So she will be treated as an individual for tax purposes. However, the wife may elect under Section 45(2) Income Tax Act to be assessed jointly with her husband. And the election should normally be made only if it benefits the taxpayer, and the choice is entirely of the taxpayer. So tak ada paksaan, it can be for a wife to elect under combined assessment or joint assessment or to be assessed separately, depending on the tax planning. So this is where tax planning comes in, because we want to know which one is better, whether to separately assess or jointly assess for a husband and wife, because we know we learn a lot about taxation, but we are not going to, kita kata kita bukan nak avoid paying tax, but we can plan to minimize the amount of tax payable. So this is how people can plan to minimize the tax payable. For example, this is the conditions for combined or joint assessment. First of all, the husband and wife are living together in the basis year for the year of assessment. Okay. If they are divorced or separated, then tak boleh elect for combined assessment lah. Where a wife is not resident for the basis year, she may elect for aggregation of her total income only if she is a Malaysian citizen, and she must have total income to be aggregated with the husband. So untuk combined assessment ni, the wife mesti ada income, but normally for a combined assessment ni, biasanya kalau the husband's punya income tu is less than the wife, then they can choose for a combined assessment. And okay, ini macam tadi lah, just like number 1 ni, if they are not living together with, if the wife is not living together with the husband, or they cease to be husband and wife, and there is no possibility of aggregation of income, so tak boleh lah. Because we know kalau kita katakan which one is better kalau joint assessment or separate assessment, like I said, it is depending on the husband and wife on the conditions on their tax planning. So biasanya kalau the husband's income tu is less than the wife, so they can elect for a combined assessment. Tapi kalau kita kira balik, kalau kita tengok in some cases, kalau the income tu the husband is more than the wife, so it is better for both untuk buat separate assessment. Because kalau kita tengok, if for separate assessment, individual can get 9,000 personal relief, so the husband get 9,000 based on the calculation, the wife also can get 9,000 based on the calculation. But for a combined assessment, husband dapat 9,000, dia akan dapat wife relief of 4,000 sahaja. So this is how people plan. Alright, so this is the table of the chargeable income or the scale rate. So this is our chargeable income. So if you look at here, only chargeable income more than 5,001 ringgit will be taxed. Nampak? Kalau chargeable income ni less than 5,000, the person will not be taxed. So the higher you earn, the more you will be taxed. Sebab tu dia panggil scale tax rate. Nampak? Exceed 1 million, 28% the charge. Alright, I have one example here, joint assessment for Mustafa and Nora Shikin. Okay, so you can look at this question. It is in your notes already. So here we have Mustafa and Rashikin. They have income from employment 40,000 and 30,000 respectively in 2019. So here Nora Shikin elects for her income to be jointly assessed with her husband. Nampak the wife yang pilih. So during the year, Mustafa paid 100 ringgit for zakat and Nora Shikin incurred books and magazine amounted to 1,200 and medical expense of 500. They have one disabled child. So this is how we compute the tax payable. This combined assessment. Remember, if separate assessment, kita buat Mustafa satu, Nora Shikin satu. But here, this is separate assessment. Combined assessment. So Mustafa tadi employment income dia 40,000. The wife 30,000. So we combine. So the total income would be 70,000. So the personal relief, this is for Mustafa je lah. Kalau combined assessment, dia atas nama husband je. So this is the personal relief for self for Mustafa 9,000, wife relief 4,000, child anak dia disabled so disabled 6,000. Alright, lifestyle, books and magazine 1,200, medical examination 500. So here kita assume ada EPF lah. Dalam ni tak mention so I tambah dekat sini the EPF, the husband 11%, the wife is also 11%. So 11% from 40,000, 4,004, 11% from 30,000, 3,000. 300, but limit for EPF is only 4,000 and this is year assessment 2019. Alright, untuk EPF 4,000 sahaja, untuk life insurance 3,000. Okay, so since this is a combined assessment, dua-dua orang ni limit hanyalah 4,000 walaupun dia incur EPF ni 7,700 limit only 4,000. So this is the relief they are entitled to, 70,000 total income minus the relief. The chargeable income would be 45,300. So this will be taxed at a scale rate. Kita tengok balik our scale rate tadi. Saya income dia berapa? 45,300 So based on the scale rate, 45,000 duduk dekat sini. In between 35 until 50,000 So on the first 35,000, the tax paid is 600. The next, the remaining would be 8%. Okay, so kita buat macam ni lah, the computation kita So the first 35 based on the table, 600. The balance would be 10,300. Mana saya dapat 10,300 ni? Anyone? Where did I get this 10,300?
Baki daripada chargeable income.
Chargeable income minus the first 35,000.
Yes, so this chargeable income minus 35,000, that will give us 10,300 So based on the table, the rate would be 8%. So 8% times 10,300, that will give us 824. So kita totalkan je lah dua-dua ni. This will be the tax payable. Alright, now dia bayar zakat zakat 100. Zakat is rebate. Rebate kita tolak lepas kita kira tax payable. So 100, that will give us 1,324. This is if they choose for a combined assessment. This is the tax paid, the tax that they have to pay Okay, kita nak tengok what if dia buat separate assessment Sekejap. I have another example ni for separate assessment. Pula. Okay. Alright, same question we have here Mustafa and Rashikin tadi. Alright, so this is what we have computed for them. Tadi kita dah kira if we are using combined assessment, if the wife elect for combined assessment. Alright, what if same example kita nak buat separate assessment. So now we have a net tax payable of 1324 if we do it jointly for the combined assessment. If we assume the individual is on separate assessment, so this is what we call tax planning. So you can see here, let's say kita buat separately and this is for Mustafa. Employment income dia tadi 40,000. So dia dapat personal relief of 90,000. Okay, kita assume anak dia yang ambil and the child relief is taken by the husband. So child relief 6,000. Ini dia tak ada. And EPF tadi limited to 4,000 untuk setiap orang lah, limited to 4,000. So the chargeable income dia 21,000. The income tax payable dia is 180 based on table tadi lah 180. Tapi sekarang ni dia bayar the income is less than 35,000 untuk rebate dia so the income is 21,000. Income tax paid dia sepatutnya 180, 180, but since chargeable income dia less than 35,000, dia boleh dapat rebate tapi rebate up to rebate kalau ikutkan 400 if you check your notes, rebate untuk chargeable income less than 35,000 is 400. But here the income tax payable only 180. You tak boleh lah tolak rebate 400 kat sini kena tolak up ikut the tax payable amount sahaja. So untuk zakat dia tak boleh dapat rebate dah lah sebab dah habis tak ada income dah dekat sini. So end up dengan dia tak ada pun income tax payable. So let's look at the wife. Nora Shikin tadi employment income dia 30,000 and she will also get personal relief 9,000. Anak tak ada because the husband dah ambil. And tadi dia purchase books 1,002, medical examination 500 and also EPF tadi 3,300. That will give her a chargeable income of 16,000. Again, the chargeable income is less than 35,000, so she is entitled to a rebate of 400 ringgit. Tapi kita kira dulu income tax payable dia which is 110. Walaupun rebate entitled untuk dia is 400, but the rebate is restricted only to 110 up to the amount of tax yang dia kena bayar. So which means the tax payable is also tak ada nilai. So based on this calculation, we know that both individuals should have their income separately assessed instead of jointly assessed. So kalau dia joint assessed, kalau dia combine both income, bayar cukai, dia kena bayar 1324. Tapi if they assess their income separately, dua-dua tak kena bayar apa-apa. Any questions? This is the example of combined and separate assessment, also with rebates. But here macam saya kata tadi lah, rebate dia 400 kalau ikut sini because the income is less than 35,000. But you cannot deduct 400 lah. Dia kena up to tax payable amount sahaja. Any question tak? Tak ada, okay Okay, Amira contoh dapat rebate zakat, tulis saja dia rebate kat situ, ada masalah. Tak payah. Because dah tak ada amount lah untuk kita tolak sebab sekarang kita nak tolak. We want to deduct the rebates kat sini So kalau macam ni zakat pun you tulis pun tak ada because kita nak tolak pun benda dah tak ada because you once you dah habis dekat sini, tak payah tulislah ada zakat amount dekat sini. Okay. Any other questions? Kalau tak ada, let's move on to lain apps ni, kena lain share. Back to our slides ni Okay. So this is the individual tax computation the example of individual tax computation. Okay. So kita belum buat dekat sini kita belum buat business income ni, kita akan buat business income next week and then after next week then you can have the whole question combined lah but for the purpose of your exam I will separate the question lah for chargeable income tu tak sure lah ada business. For business taxation, kita akan buat properly for one business. Okay, so this is the format for an individual with business. Let's say an individual ni dia ada business dan dia ada employment income dan dia ada other income. So this is how he or she should present his or her income. So from business dulu, because we start with section 4A, business income. Sampailah aggregate income, sampailah mana tadi? Okay, other non-business income. Employment, rental, interest, aggregate income, tolak balik business year loss dia, basis year loss. Kalau ada donation, dapat chargeable income, personal relief for resident individual. So untuk company dia tak ada chargeable income, dia tak ada relief lah. Company tak ada relief, company dia habis dekat sini je. Total income dia habis dekat sini. But for a person, for an individual, lepas total income dia dapat personal relief. Dan baru dia dapat untuk chargeable income. So this is the steps. As we all know, apa yang kita dah buat so far, we have to determine the basis period. That is why I said the year of assessment is very important. Because especially for relief, year of assessment ni lain tahun, lain relief dia. So you have to be careful with that. And the gross income is determined. So if the person has income from a business source, so we have to determine the adjusted business income and then non-business income dia. Okay. And then adjusted income for each source pun nama dia adjusted income because kita deduct the expenses wholly and exclusively incurred, barulah dapat statutory income from business. So untuk non-business income dia tak ada adjustment lah. So adjusted income dia akan jadi statutory income. So untuk business dia ada statutory income. Untuk individual yang tak ada business ni biasanya kita gunakan term adjusted income je lah untuk setiap non-business income dia. So this is based on the format tadi juga for the statutory business income, aggregated, any unabsorbed deducted against aggregate business income. So balance tu nanti kita tolak lah dengan kalau ada balance unabsorbed loss. Ini kita akan tengok masa kita buat business income nanti. And aggregate income, restriction of donation untuk individual 7% je. Body of person and corporate soul 10% applies to company from the aggregate income. So from the total income and then kita pergi ke chargeable income for a company is total income. For our individual, resident individual chargeable income, kita boleh tolak lagi dengan personal relief. And last kali is the deduction dalam bentuk rebates for self, wife and also zakat and fitrah. So this is the summary of computation of chargeable income. Apa yang ada dalam format tadi is the same thing lah. So sampai ke sini recoveries, aggregate income, total income, so personal relief for resident individual, apply tax rate to arrive at tax payable and then kita akan deduct tax rebate kalau ada double tax relief, so that will give us a tax payable. Alright, so this is the example. Ini saya ambil dari, alright, because here kita ada donation tadi. Approved donation, saya baru teringat saya tak masukkan what types of donations that are approved ni. So there's an addition for you. So these are the example of approved donations. Selain daripada ni, kalau dalam soalan mention that unapproved donation, then kita tak boleh tolak lah, dia mesti approve. First of all, give all money or donation to government or approved institutions. Okay, untuk company restricted to 10% of his aggregate income, individual limited to 7%. Let's say kita dah kira aggregate income banyak, you nak donate semua amount tu tak boleh. Maximum yang boleh tolak is 7% je. Yang lain tu not allowed. Give artifact, manuscript or painting to government, value determined by the Department of Museum of Malaysia or the National Archive. Give or money for provision of library facilities. Okay, nak sumbang dekat library, maximum 20,000. Nak sumbang dekat library dekat sekolah, library dekat university, you can donate, but the maximum is only 20,000. Give or money or contribution to public places for the benefit of disabled person. Okay, ini pun approved juga, approved donation. Give money or medical equipment to healthcare facilities, restricted to individuals cost of value certified by Ministry of Health but cannot exceed 20,000. Let's say you nak donate wheelchair dekat hospital kan, boleh. Tapi amount yang can be claimed cannot exceed 20,000. Boleh donate banyak, but you can only claim kalau ikutkan this format ni, approved donation ni, ada restriction 7% je. 7% dari sini. Okay. Sorry, 7% dari sini, dari aggregate income. gift of painting, okay, bagi hadiah painting. So value determined by National or State Art Gallery. And this list get revised quite regularly. So that is why we still need to go through the public rulings. I think nanti later on I will share with you the list of public rulings that you have to read lah. Banyak for example on entertainment expenses. So if you need further information, dalam buku memang tak ada, you have to read the public rulings. Double deduction contohnya. Okay, if you need more information, about employment income, you have to read the public rulings. This has been sent. I have lagi satu format to share with you. Okay. So this is the summary of computation of taxable income tadi. And this is what we have from the e-filing. Okay. So from the e-filing ni, bila kita dah isi, so the jumlah pendapatan, this is based on your income lah, what types of income, employment, dividend, interest semua tu. Rental kalau ada, and this is the total relief given. So this is the pendapatan bercukai. Pendapatan bercukai is chargeable income lah, because the e-filing ni dia guna bahasa Melayu. So pendapatan bercukai is chargeable income. Here 89851. So ini kita tengok dalam table. So the first 70,000, 4,600. The remaining would be at 21%. So jumlah cukai pendapatan, amount of tax payable ni is 8768.71. Ada rebate. Rebate dalam bentuk zakat and fitrah. So katakanlah zakat fitrah untuk 1 tahun ni ialah 1440. So tolaklah the tax paid, tolak rebate. Ni tak dapat 400 rebate sebab chargeable income lebih dari 35,000. Kalau kat sini less than 35,000, then boleh tolak lagi rebate 400. Now tak boleh lah, rebate tinggal untuk zakat sahaja. So cukai yang dikenakan 7328. Okay, ini semua tak ada. And remember, the cukai kena bayar, let's say this is for year assessment 2020, baru je yang ni 7328. Tapi remember, as an employee, so every month dah ada schedule tax reduction tu, potongan cukai berjadual, every month dalam gaji dah tolak cukai. So untuk tahun 2020, cukai yang telah dibayar based on potongan gaji is 8470. Nampak tak? Lebih kan? Lebih dari yang sepatutnya dibayar. So adalah lebihan bayaran untuk tahun taksiran 2020. So this is, kalau macam ni ada lebihan lah. Or sometimes kalau ini dia bayar kurang, dia kena top up lah. Let's say terbalik katakanlah dia kena bayar 8,004 tapi dia dah bayar 7,003 je. So akan ada amount yang terkurang. So whatever yang terkurang ni, you have to pay to lembaga hasil untuk bayar balik. Alright. So next one, let's look at question Mr. Mahin balik. Saya patah balik sikit untuk Mr. Mahin ni. So Mr. Mahin, kita tengok relief dia dulu lah. Alright, so here is the continuation of Mr. Mahin question yang you all buat tutorial last week tu. So here we have information, Mr. Mahin retired as a senior lecturer upon reaching compulsory age of retirement on 31st December 2018. So we know this year assessment is 2018. So 2018 dia lain sikit dengan 2019. So he provided the following information. Contributed 1320 per month to EPF. He also pays 4,400 for a life insurance policy. So we all know life insurance dengan EPF ni dia combine dalam satu kategori. Tapi ada maksimum EPF 4,000, life insurance 3,000. Tapi ini 2018 yang tadi pecahan tu untuk 2019. So married to Gomati, housewife and has 2 children studying in Malaysia public universities. He incurred over 8,000 in 2018 on the education of each of his children. Okay. Spent 12,000 on fees during the year in pursuing a doctorate degree in management science at a local university. Spent 1,100 towards the purchase of books for himself and his family. He was able to produce receipts for 700 worth of books. he was able to produce receipts for 700 worth of books. He purchased tennis racket for 300 during the year. Appropriate receipt were enclosed. So based on this relief, yang kita nak kira relief je dulu untuk soalan ni Based on this information so kita nak tengok lah berapa banyak relief yang dia boleh dapat. Tahu mana datang kucing ni? Tak boleh dengar bunyi kucing kan? Tiba ada kucing kat third floor ni. Orang tak ada, kucing ada. Alright, so you have to compute total personal relief for Mr. Mahen for year assessment 2018. Alright, self 9,000, wife 4,000. Tadi kata wife dia housewife so dia boleh claim wife relief 4,000. Anak dia dua orang belajar dekat universiti 8,000 each, 16,000. EPF and life, okay, EPF and life ni kita tambah ni jadi 5,000 5820. Untuk 2018 the maximum EPF and life is 6,000. So dia masih boleh claim semua 5720, masih lagi belum sampai amount maximum Alright, fees for doctorate studies, dia belajar walaupun fees dia 12,000, the maximum that he can claim is only 7,000. Alright, and then the lifestyle relief, you look at here, the lifestyle relief, dia beli buku 1,100 dengan tennis racket 300 which is equivalent to 1,400, tapi receipt dia untuk buku 700 je. Racket ada receipt. So remember whatever relief that you want to claim mesti ada evidence So ni receipt tak ada, hanya ada 700, so yang ada receipt je boleh tolak 700 plus 300 that will give us 1,000. So this is the total relief for Mr. Mahen. Right, so if you have the question untuk Mr. Mahen tu, you can continue lah. Sebab Mr. Mahen hari tu kita buat sampai total income je tak ada relief. There's another question, saya dah letak dalam my group. I'm not sure whether you all dah go through the question or not. It is Mr. Sim. Ada yang try buat tak? Mr. Sim tu is a very good question for you to study. Let me share with you here, Mr. Sim. Mr. Sim. Okay. Ini Mr. Mahen tadi So Mr. Mahen ni is your tutorial question last week tu. So Mr. Mahen ni you dah buat dah sampailah kita kira total income dia. Okay, and then Mr. Sim ni, ini pun dah ada dalam my guru Mr. Sim ni dia ada semua juga. So you can go through the example. Saya tak go through in detail aku so because dalam this example ni ada macam-macam dekat sini, and then ni kita dah buat hari tu kan, tapi kita buat Mr. Sim ni sampai sini je. Kita tak buat sampai relief dia so you can continue, you can go back to Mr. Sim question ni. So here Mr. Sim contributed 11% of his salary to EPF. He signed up to pursue master in business and paid 15,000 for his semester fees. He married to Grace, who is a homemaker. Okay, they have 3 children, 23, 19 and 14. Eldest daughter get married in July 2018. Eldest son pursuing medical degree in Monash University and is fully supported by Mr. Sim. So whenever you have all this kind of relief, you better highlight and put the maximum amount untuk ni. Mr. Sim bought a new computer for the family for 3,400 and purchased books for 1,200 during the year, which are substantiated by receipts. He want to practice a healthy lifestyle and hence purchase a treadmill machine for the family for 3,999. Alright, so untuk Mr. Sim ni, I remember kita dah go through sampailah ke total income. Alright. This example is in your My Guru. In case you are wondering kat mana example ni, check dalam My Guru under personal taxation material. So ada macam-macam dalam tu. Alright, so for personal relief of Mr. Sim, he gets a personal relief of 9,000, a wife relief of 4,000. Anak dia, the first one, kenapa tak dapat?
Dah kahwin.
Dah kahwin kan? The keyword is married. So dah kahwin tak ada. Second one, belajar dekat university 8,000. The third one tu sekolah lagi 2,000. EPF dia maximum 6,000. This is the assessment 2018 Kalau 2019, 7,000 maximum EPF dengan life So sekarang ni 2018 dia masih lagi combine EPF and life insurance. Okay, 6,000. Cost fees, walaupun dia incur 15,000, maximum that he can claim sama macam Mr. Mahen tadi is only 7,000. And lifestyle relief, walaupun dia beli macam-macam, nampak tak lifestyle relief dia tadi apa benda tak ada. Look at the lifestyle relief kan. Dia beli buku 1,002, dia beli computer 3,004, dia beli treadmill almost 4,000 which will be 8,000 something tapi dia hanya boleh claim up to, the relief will be up to 2,005 maximum. Alright, so this is the total relief yang dia dapat and this is the chargeable income. So can you continue and calculate the tax payable untuk Mr. Sim ni? Boleh tak? Check the table of schedule tax rate tadi. Now chargeable income dia 280060. Alang-alang buat kan, kira sampai habis the tax. Right, anyone? Any figure? Tax payable for Mr. Sim? Okay, I have one answer here, 54264.7. Anyone? Anyone else?
Sama.
Sama dapat semua So based on this figure, you just go to table So this income is 280,060 ringgit. Is in the range of between 250 to 400. So the first 250,000, the tax would be 46,900. And the remaining would be at 24.5%. So jadilah 54264.7. Alright, so this Mr. Sim, dia tak boleh dapat rebate untuk zakat. Zakat hanya untuk Muslim saja. Okay. So the rebate is only for Islamic religious due saja. So Mr. Sim ni dia akan habis dekat tax paid lah. Dia tak dapat rebate sebab chargeable tak dapat rebate 400 sebab chargeable income dia pun dah more than 35,000 and dia tak ada zakat paid Okay, any question tak for this Mr. Sim question ni?
Madam,
Ya.
Mr. Sim ni dia ada dalam My Guru
Ada. Under learning materials, tajuk personal taxation.
Oh, dalam tu lah.
Dalam tu. Sekejap, I show you what we have dalam tu Sekejap. Okay, so under learning materials ni, saya tak tahu you all punya interface macam mana So this is my interface. So dalam personal taxation ni, topik 6 ni. Alright, ada personal relief table for 2016 until 2020. Ada pelepasan cukai. Ada notes, this is the PowerPoint notes. Mr. Sim ni lah, question and answer And also the tax summary tadi, the table tax summary sampai chargeable income tadi the one that I show you before. And kita ada lagi, saya ada share juga lagi satu soalan Vincent Chin ni. So untuk Vincent Chin ni, kita tengok sekejap lah. Vincent Chin. Alright, so you have this question juga in your My Guru tu. So we have here Mr. Vincent Chin. Tapi untuk soalan yang you all nak try buat today ni, saya nak you skip point number 1 and number 2 sebab number 1 and number 2 ni is about business income his business source. Ini kita buat next week. So that is why you need to keep the question because we always can come back to this sebab dia ada business source dekat sini. So if you look at this question kita ada Mr. Chin ni. Tax resident, age 53, was a manager at Lim Brothers. 24 December 2017, his service were terminated as the employer decided to move his business to Thailand. He received compensation for loss of employment of 60,000 and a bonus of 12,000 was paid on 31st January 2018. So dia ada source of income from business, point number 1 and number 2, ignore je, tak payah buat apa-apa. We start with point number 3 Okay, so untuk point number 3, he received 25,000 in respect of royalties from writing a book on mainland Chinese history. Royalty section berapa? Anyone? Ada tak? Anyone? Because here what you have to do is kena susun lah. Macam saya kata tadi lah, kita always start with section 4A business income. Tapi untuk Mr. Chin ni, Vincent ni kita tak buat lagi business income dia. So kita akan start dengan 4B lah kalau ada employment income B, C, D, E. So here dia ada royalties, dia ada dividend, dia ada interest income. Okay, ini basically these are the income yang dia dapat lah termasuk yang dekat atas ni tadi the compensation for loss of employment. Okay. Bonus 12,000 juga. Okay, and then, okay, Vincent is married to Patricia, a tax resident who is physically disabled after suffering a stroke. They have 2 unmarried children of their own and 1 legally adopted child. So the eldest son, Robin, 22 years old, pursuing engineering degree in the US, while the daughter, Roslyn, pursuing degree course in Taiwan. Okay. Vincent spent 1,700 on books, which is he is able to produce receipts. Okay, kita tahu, okay, ini this is under lifestyle, dia boleh produce receipts. So in 2018, he contributed to EPF at 11%. So kita kira lah balik, tengok kat atas salary dia berapa nak kena darab dengan 11% ni. And he paid life insurance premium of 2,200. He deposited 8,000 into the National Education Savings Scheme for his adopted daughter's education, Trisha, who is studying in local secondary school. Alright. What about adopted child? Dia boleh claim relief tak? Can Vincent claim relief? Boleh tak? What do you think? Can or cannot? So anak dia 3, 2 unmarried of their own and 1 legally adopted. So anak yang kecil ni dia boleh claim relief tak?
Tak boleh.
Why not?
Macam boleh. Boleh tapi kena ada sertifikat.
Boleh kot.
Boleh. Tak ada code, memang boleh because this is legally adopted child. So if you go back to definition of a child, satu child sendiri of course lagi satu legally adopted. So memang kalau dia legally adopted, dia memang boleh claim relief provided that dia yang maintain the child lah. Ini semua kalau ikutkan child of their own ni dia maintain sendiri dalam ni dia tak cakap. Dia cuma kata dia maintain anak-anak ni. And then okay, tapi dia ada father juga who is 75 years old, receive pension 1,200 a month, stay with him. Okay, so ini ada relief untuk parents tu kan. You kena check balik lah untuk parents ni how much yang parents dia boleh dapat. Vincent contributed 620 under the Social Security Protection Scheme. This is SOCSO. He owns a bungalow in Damansara which he rents out for 8,000 per month. He incurred 34,000 on interest on mortgage, fire insurance 2,006 and assessment and quick rent 1,400. He spent 5,200 on electrical and plumbing repairs and 40,000 on extending the kitchen. Right? So this is rental income dia under section 4D juga. So bila you buat 4D tadi, royalties, jangan lupa lah rental income ni juga
Madam,
Yep.
yang ayah dia tu walaupun dia dapat pencen tu tak dikira income dia.
Cuba kira, cuba tengok umur dia berapa. Dia ada clause dia tahu. Kalau parents tu umur lebih dari berapa dia boleh dapat relief tu.
Oh.
Parents kan, parents expenses tu kan. Sekarang parents dia umur 75.
Five.
Dah lebih dah. So boleh lah. Kalau dia kata kat sini parents umur 50, duduk dengan dia, tak boleh. Sebab dia kena above berapa tahun? Siapa ingat? Dia tak yang ingat? Parents ni.
60 ya? 60.
Ha. Check balik So age is very important juga. So you have to pay a very close attention Kalau macam ni because you know dia boleh dapat untuk parents kan. Tapi boleh dapat tak kalau macam ni. So now in this case dia boleh lah sebab parents dia 75 years old Next one is Vincent donated 5,000 cash to an approved Malaysian charitable institution. So kita tahu boleh tolak donation ni, but you have to compute up to aggregate income dulu sebab kita tahu for individual donation tak boleh lebih dari 7% of aggregate income dia. But here we know this is an approved institution so kita boleh tolak lah later. Next one, Patricia, okay. Vincent received bank interest of 14,000 from a joint account with Patricia held with a local bank. He also, soalan last ni tak nampak. Received 70,000 annuity income and she made cash donation of 1,000 to an approved local charitable organisation. So here you have to compute tax payable for Vincent Chin and Patricia Chin under separate assessment. So cerita yang panjang-panjang ni you have to prepare 2 tax computation. Satu untuk Vincent, satu untuk wife dia. Sebab sekarang ni wife dia ada income kan? Nampak? 70,000 as annuity income. So bila dia ada income memang kita boleh buat dia untuk separate assessment And then the assumption is made that the child relief is given to Vincent. This is for year assessment 2018 Maybe you can try to do it some now Kita boleh go through dulu sikit. But I will not go sampai habis lah. You all start dulu. Remember walaupun dividend interest dia exempted, please include in your calculation. That letak dash dia on nil pun tak apa Can you all try to calculate and give me aggregate income for Vincent ni? We start with employment income section 4B, jangan buat 4A lagi. Yep. A relief untuk anak below 18 years old. 2,000. Anyone ada any number to share?
Kak Megan masih lagi.
Okay. Alright, done? Alright, I will share with you just the calculation for Vincent Chin. Alright? Dapat tak? You all get the same figure tak? Okay. Alright, so for this Vincent Chin, so the rest nanti I want you to continue later lah. Okay. So bonus 12,000, compensation is assessed in 2017 so kita tak kira lah. Kita tengah buat untuk year assessment 2018. So dividend from Singapore, all these are exempted. Nestle exempted, interest also exempted, bank interest from joint account exempted. Section 4D royalties. Okay, royalties dia 25,000 but 20,000 is exempted, so tinggal 5,000 je. This is the rental income. Repairs, mortgage interest, assessment and quick rent, fire insurance, but the extension is a capital expenditure. So tak boleh tolak lah. That will give us 52,800 total semua. Aggregate income untuk Vincent Chin is 69,800. Sampai sini semua dapat ke?
Kalau dekat compensation tu, saya termasukkan compensation.
Oh, okay. Tak, sebab compensation dia 2017. Alright, untuk Vincent Chin ni, kalau tengok dia ada donation 5,000 ringgit donation. Okay, donation kita boleh ambil 5,000 tak?
Kena
Tak
dalam
boleh.
7% tu.
Kena kira 7% from this figure. So from 7% from this figure, how much you get?
4886.
4,886, which means that is the donation that we can deduct and not 5,000. Walaupun dia donate 5,000, tapi 5,000 is actually more than his 7% of the aggregate income.
So,
Okay,
dia
alright.
boleh minus dengan 4886 medium.
Ya, betul. Dia 4,886 dia tak boleh lebih lah. Sekejap, saya tak nak tulis lah. Hang pula saya kena. Alright, so here kalau kita tengok dia punya approved donation ni akan jadi donation 7% lah. 7% times 6988. So akan jadi 4,886 Okay. So 4,886. This is the total income dia. So you can calculate up to total income. Untuk personal relief tu you all kena kira sendirilah. Termasuklah the wife. So maybe next week we can look at the answer. Total income jadi berapa ni? 6,900 minus 4,886. 64,914. Any question tak?
Medium nak tanya, untuk yang macam quick rent assessment, fire insurance tu semua memang kena ambil bulat-bulat daripada soalan ke?
Because here dia macam ni bila kita buat rental income hari tu kita ada date kan. Ada yang kita perlu lah. But in this case bila dia bagi macam ni kita anggap itu adalah untuk setahun je.
Oh, tapi kalau dia bagi date macam bulan 1 sampai bulan 6 tenant yang lain?
Kena prorate lah. Kena buat macam kita buat rental, the calculation of rental income ni here dia akan jadi calculation macam kita buat example rental income sebelum ni. Kalau ada prorate lah, ada new tenant keluar masuk lah, kalau ada agent fee apa semua tu, dia akan jadi macam soalan sebelum ni lah. But in this case dia tak ada, dia bagi detail je, dia cuma bagi apa rental dia incurred ni, semua kita assume ini adalah for the whole year. So tak payah nak prorate apa-apa lah.
Okay.
Ambil dia semua. Okay. Alright, any other questions? So untuk relief dia, I want you to continue with the relief and also the calculation for his wife lah, Patricia tu. Okay? Dapat Alright, very good. Okay, so kalau tak ada apa-apa, I think that's all for personal taxation that we have for today. And for next week, kita akan continue with business taxation. And maybe if we have time, saya akan share the answer lah untuk soalan Vincent Chin ni. But basically, this is how you will see soalan untuk chargeable income. Okay? Tak ada soalan dah kan? Saya nak kena pergi meeting dah, lambat dah ni. Alright, so that's all for today. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Madam.
Alright, if you have
Thank you,
question,
Madam.
tanya je WhatsApp group saya ada je. Saya kena pergi meeting je kejap. Alright, thank you.
Okay, thank you, madam.
Thank you, Madam.